Alright, so I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and today we're going to be talking about something that has happened in the past few weeks and people are still talking about, and others which have concerns, and they rightfully so. But as you know, things go on, as rumors spread, there's always misinformation, there's always lies, there's always bullshit that comes along with things like this. So as you can tell by the title of this video, if you don't know or if you haven't seen, YouTube or Google recently have changed the way they enforce monetization friendly videos and things like that. Now, these rules have actually been in place since 2015, and that's the one thing I think a lot of people don't realize, is that this has been around for longer than you think or you've noticed. And having AdSense pulled from videos is nothing new either. If you go back to some of my older videos, I had a video talking about where I had AdSense pulled from a Cards Against Humanity video. Now, that's nothing new to me. Back in those days, YouTube didn't give you any sort of way to refute that or appeal it. It was kind of just said and done. I had a lot of people in the Google forums tell me that. So now that they've given you this appeal process, they also now notify you by email and by your channel if your video has been, flagged to not be, monetized. And a lot of people started worrying, a lot of people started flipping their shit, and there is a lot of misinformation about all of this. Now, a lot of people are saying that it has to do with swearing, that it has to do with language in certain videos. I haven't noticed anything to do with language. My suggestion or my sort of suspicion is that it has to do with the video title and the video tags. Because the podcast that me and Kieran do, I haven't noticed AdSense pulled from any episodes whatsoever, except the ones that have been flogged for music. But that's a different story. And, there's been a few gameplay videos where we swear like sailors, and yet again, we still have monetization on those. So I think it has to do something with either the tags or the title, because swearing doesn't really seem to be the thing here that's causing that sort of bot to go crazy. Now, another thing I want to point out is that, yes, these rules have been in place. Have they been enforcing them as crazily as they have now? I honestly cannot tell you. Maybe, maybe not. Because back in those days, when you were to have a video pulled from AdSense, you normally would not be notified, so you would not know. So you would have 10 or 12 different videos that were not monetized without your, without you knowing it. And now you're notified of it, so now people are actually starting to see, shit, what's going on here? And obviously, at first, these bots are going to go a little bit crazy, but I think eventually, it's going to calm down and things are going to get sorted out. Because just like the copyright system, when YouTube first put it in place, it's going to be a little bit haywire until they actually figure out how to sort things out properly. Now, obviously, some videos are wrongfully being flagged, such as Boogie's videos talking about depression and suicide, and Philip DeFranco's videos because he covers politics and news and things like that. So, those kinds of videos are getting thrown in the mix as like civilian casualties, Now, is there, a big concern here? A lot of people have been expressing that this is a form of censorship. I agree and disagree with that as well, because you have to remember YouTube is a business, Google is a business. These advertisers have the right to pull ads off of YouTube if they so desire. Remember, we live in a free market system. We live in a capitalist society. So every business and every sort of corporate entity has the right to pull from a company or to put money into a company based on their choosing. And, Google adding this feature where they give you the option to appeal as well as giving the corporate entities the ability to pull ads off of videos is something that they probably should have done a while ago. I mean, of course, it sounds a bit crazy, but when you think about it, that's kind of, going against the corporate free will, so to speak. These companies should have the right to pull ads from their videos. Now, one, thing that both the Young Turks and, Philip DeFranco and many others like Total Biscuit have expressed, that they, you should look at other forms of gaining income, because YouTube AdSense is not very sufficient, so to speak. It's not livable. It varies way too much, and unless you're making a couple of 100,000 views, which is a lot, you're not going to have a very livable income unless you're doing that otherwise. And they are not wrong. currently I don't make enough to live off of YouTube. More or less, I get a few bucks here and there, and that money usually goes back into getting equipment for the channel. So, you know, they're not wrong. And on top of that, people should learn to adapt, because remember, in this kind of society where, you know, your job could be gone in an instant due to a company going bankrupt or a corporation losing money, it's, you know, it makes you wake up and realize, shit, none of our jobs are secure, regardless of where you work. You could be at the top of a company, you know, the CEO or a manager or whatever. Tomorrow, that could be gone in a heartbeat. You never know. The same with YouTube. Today you have a channel with millions of subs. Tomorrow your channel could be dead. You don't know. So it's good to adapt to these things. You have to adapt to change. And another thing I noticed is people love finger pointing. With this whole entire thing, I don't understand why people are blaming YouTube for this. This is not YouTube's fault. They are simply following the law pretty much at this point. And if it's anyone to blame, you should be blaming the advertisers, because they don't want to adapt and put ads on different kinds of videos. Instead, everyone's blaming YouTube because they're not forcing an advertiser to put ads on their video, which kind of sounds very stupid the more you think about it. And, you know, it's so dumb, because all of this just makes me wonder why. You know, we see people like Pyrocynical and many others, you know, even including some of my mates who have talked about this subject before, and yet again, none of them actually seem to want change. Everyone will hop on the bandwagon to fucking talk about it, but when it comes down to actually taking action, no one will listen, no one will respond. I've tweeted at so many people telling them, if you want change, you're gonna have to do basically what Grade A Under A did, with tweeting at the CEO complaining about the copyright system. Look at how quickly that got YouTube's attention compared to the years of people making videos complaining about it. Think about that. YouTube and both Twitter and any other form of social media has millions and millions of users. What makes you think that your video or your tweet is going to automatically be recognized by YouTube because of your status? If anything, in my personal opinion, that's just complete arrogance. So in order to get these sort of changes, in order to fix these sort of things, and I know it sounds a bit crazy, and this is not harassment if you're doing it correctly, there needs to be an outcry that YouTube can actually see. There needs to be people tweeting at the CEO and people that work at YouTube to get their attention. Do you understand me? Because tweeting on your Twitter or your personal Twitter or making videos, they're not going to see that. You're going to get drowned out in a sea of millions of people who use that same website as you. For instance, making a YouTube video complaining about the copyright system isn't going to, you know, be noticed by much other than your fans. If you tweet at the CEO of YouTube saying, hey, there's a problem, can you please try to address this, and your fans tweet at that person retweeting and liking it, then they're going to notice. That's the thing I find ironic in this entire situation, is people talk about how they want change, they want to fix YouTube, but yet again they're not taking the proper steps to do so. And in fact, let me show you how you're supposed to fix this entire system, because to be honest, it seems like all of you are just hopping on this for the bandwagon just to get that quick ad revenue and shit. That's what pisses me off about this entire situation. Everyone who's been talking about it has not seemed to seek to a reasonable way of fixing this, or a reasonable sort of action. Everyone just complains about it on their channel, they forget about it in a week, and everyone moves on to doing more bullshit videos or whatever it is they do. That's not how you fix anything. In fact, that's how you make things get worse. And, you know, a lot of people are going to probably tell me in the comments, why do advertisers care about having their videos or their ads on certain videos? Well, they have the right to care. You know, a weight loss program is not going to have their ads on someone reviewing a Big Mac. They might, but the chances are they're going to want to have their ads on, let's say, a workout video. You know, same vice versa. McDonald's or sort of fast food chain is not going to put their ads on a workout video. It'd be quite ironic to see that, but it's not going to happen. You know, and that's the thing. You got to remember, these corporate entities do think. They have, you know, their own sort of area and specialty set up for this kind of thing. But I digress. As of now, I am probably going to start my own sort of movement in trying to fix YouTube myself, because to everyone else it doesn't actually seem that they want change. It just seems that they want to talk about change, but not actually take action to change. So, I'm going to propose my idea, and it's going to be very similar to Grade A Under A's. I'm going to tweet at the CEO of YouTube. I'm going to tweet at YouTube themselves. You guys, I want you to go into my Twitter, share this tweet with your friends, tell them to retweet and like it, and hopefully we can get the attention of many other people as well. Because here's the thing, this YouTube is over party thing is just complete nonsense. YouTube's been changing for years, and if you can't adapt to change, then you can't live in this world. That's just the straight truth. It sounds harsh, and I'm not trying to be depressing or mean, but you have to remember, in the job market, jobs are always changing. People are always adapting to this change. That's how the market works. Remember, when you talk about free market capitalism in school, the market decides what it wants. You know, the customer decides what the market should be. Your wallet speaks for the market, pretty much. You know, and that's how it is. That's how it's been. So forcing an advertiser to put advertisements on a video that they don't want to is not free market capitalism at all. In fact, it's going against their rights as a corporation. I understand that, you know, YouTube is a job for some people, but you have to remember, you have to look at the other side of the story here and realize it's not always, you know, this side or that side. There is more than one side to the story. And this is the one thing I hate about American politics as well, is because it's always this sort of shit-flinging nonsense instead of actually talking about the actual problem. We need to talk about the problem as well as take action here. Same thing goes in politics. We need to talk about the problem and take action. Not sit here and fling shit at all of these different things and not take action. Not pretend that we want to take action. And I don't care who I piss off. I don't care if people get mad at me and block me, because let me be real with you guys, for everyone who does these commentary or these rant videos, if you fucking want change, then you need to work towards it. Don't just sit there and make videos and make tweets and express your anger and all of this and not fight for change, because you're part of the problem. You understand? I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking this. This is just my 2 cents on the entire AdSense thing. You know, this is not the reason why I have a Patreon, by the way. You know, I know a lot of you have been asking me, why did I make the Patreon and things like that. But the Patreon was because, to be honest, one of my mates sent me an affiliation link, and he said if I signed up, he could win a contest, so I did. And also, I think it'd be a great way to kind of, you know, allow you guys to somewhat invest into the channel in a sense, you know, if you know what I mean. But I don't know. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below, because honestly, I'm tired of hearing people talk about change, especially on YouTube, especially in the commentary scene, especially in the rant scene, and none of them actually want change. You want change? You want a revolution? I'll give you one. I'll promise you that, okay? But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. And yeah, I'll catch you all next one. Till then, have a great day.
Alright, kick back, relax, and grab yourself a beverage. Or hop if you wanna just bounce to my leverage. The evidence, as they say, is in the pudding. So show me the money like my name was Cuba Gooding. It ain't fool's gold, it's gold, fool. Can't stop, won't stop, keeping it old school. So cool. Big Spoon is my nom de plume. I keep it popping like a needle in a new balloon. And if you don't know by now, then you need more schooling. Let loose, kid, get stupid. Got more flavor than I know what to do. It's to get your hands up if you're part of the movement and bump to the baseline. I made it rock before your phone had FaceTime. Yes, sirree, you know my steez. I stay fresh to death like I'm drowning in Febreze.